we bought a Kia Soul. Let's get into it. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why? Well, look at it. Don't you want to drive a car that was literally marketed for hamsters to drive in? I would, so I did. You ever see a car for the longest time and you think, who would drive a literal toaster of a vehicle? And then you get inside that vehicle and you're like, I would drive the toaster of the vehicle. This is exactly that scenario. Let me give you the tour. First off, this isn't the first time we saw this vehicle. The second time we saw it is when we actually bought it. And we'll tell you why. Aubrey and I came to look at this vehicle and it had a bit of damage that we couldn't quite see in the photos. Essentially, this quarter panel was pretty heavily damaged. It had been sideswiped something. And there was scratches all the way back to this door here on this dog leg of a panel, and it was severely pushed in. It is purely cosmetic damage because everything operated and closed correctly, but obviously the damage was a little too much for us to stomach, so we told the guy we're gonna pass. And a few minutes later, we got a call from the owner. Now the owner tried to bargain with me and said, hey, it's only $500 in damage. You're getting the car for $4,000. That's a steal. And I said, while that may be true, $500 to fix all of that damage front and back, it's not possible, well, at least not for me, and that's with a body shop hookup. So we finally decided if he could fix it for $500, I would pay him an additional $500 and we'd come buy the vehicle if everything looks good. And after a week's time, he fixed it for $500. Blows cold, heater blows hot, everything works correctly. It smells not fun in here, but we can fix smells. It drives great, it drives straight. It's not the fastest car in the world, but it's not the slowest. Someone said this car does have heart and soul. This is the only really remaining part of the damage of this car is just this little area. It's got some rock chips, scratches in the paint, but I'm fine for that if this is as bad as it looks. Title looks good, all signed. He's gonna go ahead and throw in a state inspection for me since they do state inspections. That way all I have to do is go title transfer it and get the new plates and a sticker. Now this shop obviously got this car for a steal of a deal because they own a mechanic shop, and this vehicle needed an inner tie rod and an alignment, and the previous owner that owned it couldn't afford it and decided to take that money instead and buy a whole new vehicle and gave it to the shop instead. Now there's still a little bit of scratches right here and a little bit of scratches right here on the pillar, but all of this is cosmetic. And I bet I can actually fix this on camera because there's just a little bit of scratches on the glass. We'll get to that later. Now aside from some of the door handle paint kind of peeling a little bit, very light hail damage and a little bit of paint fading on some of these upper portions of the roof. Now I'm not sure if you can tell, but this color is exactly how Todd described it. Nardo gray if Nardo gray was brown. We're gonna call it Nardo brown.
Fardo brown.
Fardo brown. So let's take a look at the interior. Like brand new on the inside. This is actually only a one owner vehicle, and the previous owner did not take very good care of the inside because we can kind of still smell the previous owner. Not the best. Original floor mats. It actually is pretty well optioned. It does have all the nice cruise control features, Bluetooth MP3 radio as well. Let's take a look at the back. The back seat looks hardly actually even sat in. Maybe a little bit of a rip right here, but who's perfect really? The back seat's actually pretty spacious. You look at these cars, you don't think they actually have that much room, but they're deceivingly big on the inside. Again, I'm 6'9"3/4" and I got plenty of room. So this is typically how the best deals happen. You have a one owner vehicle, the person can't afford to fix it or doesn't want to fix it any longer, so they pass it over to a shop who is then able to pass over the savings to you. Now this car is 99% ready. We already took it over to the Kia dealership to go ahead and have them do the anti-theft security recall. That way this car will be less prone to being stolen like the Kia boys are so famous for.
There's a squirrel running in the background in the middle of that. That's cute.
And let's talk about some of the other stuff the shop did before they sold to me. Brand new road hugger tires, brand new front brakes and primo gloss black hubcaps to match pretty much everything else on this vehicle that is painted gloss black, like the side badges, mirror, and side pillars. All the black accents and this Nardo brown paint really makes this car pop, and truthfully it makes this car look significantly newer than it actually is. This is a 2015 and they still make this vehicle on the same body style, just with updated headlights and updated taillights and maybe some bumper tweaks, but all intents and purposes, it's the same car. So really the only thing left to do is take care of the scratches on the window. Let's knock that out real quick. Steel wool. And a can-do attitude.
It's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
I don't know, man.
Most of it. There's a little bit. I'm gonna call that a win. Oh yeah. Almost fixed. Significantly better. Now the car still does smell like a little bit of the previous owner, which is kind of weird, but we're gonna go ahead and run a can in it to really freshen it up. Let's go over the numbers. Now initially, whenever Aubrey reached out to this person, the vehicle was listed for right around $5,500 and had been listed for about a week. Now Aubrey expertly negotiated with him for a little bit, but forgot to respond to him, so I stepped in. She was able to get him down to $4,750. I was able to go ahead and talk him down to $4,000 after sweet talking him and sending him a few memes. The memes actually worked, and it turns out we've met this guy previously. Todd and I were at the O'Reilly's and we were just talking the talk, and next thing you know, he recognized us and he said, I'll do $4,000. After seeing the vehicle, we said it's no bueno, but we added on an additional $500 for him to fix it, and he fixed it for $500, which brings our total purchase price to $4,500. For a one owner, 107,000 mile vehicle, this makes this an incredible deal. Especially considering that this car has new front brakes, 4 brand new tires, alignment, fresh suspension components. The only thing we have to do now is go ahead and take listing photos and list it out on Turo so we can start making that money back ASAP. Now you might be thinking this is definitely a one-time deal, but this is often how Aubrey and I actually get deals on Facebook Marketplace so often, is that we're constantly browsing. Even Todd is sending us listings on his day off, because you never know when a crazy deal might show up and the seller might be able to come off that price a little more than maybe a dealer would. As always guys, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next episode.